Welcome back to 4200%, Build, Scale, and Sell. We're here to talk with people with humble beginnings that blow up into success. And I have with me Janine Cascio. Welcome to the show. I'm excited to have you here.
Yeah.
She is CEO and President of Simplending, and she has such an amazing story. I'm truly excited to have her here and discuss all things Simplending.
For sure. Anthony, thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful that you have me on the show and my Italian brother. Let's kick this conversation off.
I love it. I love it. So I ask all show people, scaling means. What does scaling mean to you?
Scaling to me just means, self-growth. I'm a big personal development person, and I truly believe that we are like creators of our own reality. And the more you give to yourself, the more you develop yourself is kind of the reality you create and like the people around you and who you're attracting and things like that. So really scaling to me is self-development.
Scaling is self-development. I absolutely love that. And we all have a story, and we'll talk about business, of course, and scale, but I want to hear your story. How did you become an entrepreneur? How did you get into lending, and why are you driven for success?
So I was always a math person. I went to school for accounting. I love being in the finance space, but I luckily just through connections and meeting the right people ended up working for a family office. And I was just indulged in the business in itself of lending out money to people, making interest, and that like passive income really intrigues me because passive income to me is financial freedom. Like it's not the hustle drive of like closing the deal. No, it's making that passive income. So that always was curiosity for me. And I think just having curiosity is what led me to creating my own company. Here I am, 2.5 years into the business and really looking to scale and grow and self-develop and have fun.
I love that. And I talk a lot because I know I have my own personal leap story, if you will. What was your leap? What is it? You started a family office and you're like, I'm going to make a go of this lending thing. What was it for you? What was that leap? What was that jump?
I have a little bit of a weird story just because I worked for a family office, but there was kind of like a falling out in that family office. And one of the brothers went ahead and went to do his own company from the ground up, and he took me with him. So it was a smaller startup. We were trying to do it on our own. But then I kind of had the mindset of like, he wasn't really running it well. And I then developed to the point of I could do this better. I could do this myself. I could create this for myself. And especially when I'm relocated to Houston from New York, I've had that opportunity of starting fresh. And at first it was just a job for myself. But then I hired one person. That one person developed into my COO and started hiring more people and really just committed to the journey, committed to self-growth, committed to scaling, growing a company and leveling up my mindset, and here we are.
I love that. So we're going to stay there, right there, and then we'll transition off into what would a friend at that time describe your personality?
My personality, very driven. I get told that I'm very confident, which I think has helped me. It's funny, I have like this extroverted personality, but I'm truly an introvert. Like I love going inward. I love quiet time. I love meditating. I love yoga. But all of the yoga, mindfulness, meditation actually prepares me for conferences, prepares me for when I meet people that I'm showing up as my higher self, bringing in that energy. And that energy actually cultivates those relationships, because you want to go into, especially business relationships, you want to bring the right energy and you want to attract people that want to work with you. So going into those meetings with a positive mindset and attracting that's key.
I absolutely love that. And I can already hear the seeds of scale, right? Because I think the trick, especially when you're scaling companies, is you have to make that jump from it's not about me. I need the right people on the right bus.
Yes.
And that needs to happen for me to succeed.
Yes. It's definitely not me. Like I cannot be where I'm at today without my team. So finding the right people is everything. I'm very a big advocate for that. Like I'm no one without my team. I'm literally no one without my team. So finding the right people, making it about that greater mission, and like knowing that when you are like the leader, especially in a startup, like you eat last. Like it's not about you anymore. It's not about putting money in your pocket. It's about finding the right people and developing those people, making those people make sure they're hitting their goals, because guess what? You're going to achieve everything you want in life as long as the people around you are being elevated, they're achieving the goals that they want. It all comes back to you.
Absolutely. I can't agree more. And, it's funny. We talk about the successes so much, and those are fun, right?
Yeah.
I love success. I mean, the hard work that goes into it. I was talking with a friend of mine, of course, we're at the Captivate conference here, and we were talking about the overnight success. Janine, you're an overnight success. It just happened, right? And so part of that, at least part of the journey, is kind of a mistake, or if you will, a misstep. Do you have like one of those early on where you're trying and you've got just a couple missteps that are happening? Anything come to mind for you on that?
Yeah, I think life in general is all about reminders to ourselves. As human beings, we habitually forget things and get lost and distracted. But for me, it's a reminder to keep it simple. And that's kind of where the name comes from. Like Simplending Financial is like our problem solution is simplifying the process, making things easier for others in the same sense of like operations and scaling. Like it's like, let's keep it simple, because simplicity scales. So for me, it's like when you're overcomplicating things and like you're making things too hard, and like people aren't understanding their real role and what they're here for, and like have a clear guideline. Like you want to make your job descriptions for the employees, like you have to tell them what you expect, when you expect it by, things that are crystal clear. So keeping things simple. And having that mindset that failures aren't failures, that in itself is a mindset. So what's truly important is having the growth mindset. And a growth mindset is, always evolving, always learning from failures, always. It's not like I can't do this. It's more of like a not yet. So knowing that everything in life is a learning process. And I say this a lot in a lot of my podcasts, but like, a master knows that they're always a student. So knowing that you're a student and, letting things that might seem like failures not hold you back.
I absolutely love that. And I found that time and again. And, as we transition from founding the business, really scaling the business, I have found time and again, I've had to reinvent myself. At first, I was the person doing the work.
Yeah.
And now I'm managing people doing the work, to where I'm now inspiring people to do the work.
Yeah.
And, it's amazing because you talked a little bit about mindfulness and yoga and how transformative that was for you in scaling your business.
I agree. Yeah. Mindfulness for me is a lot, because I think as a leader, you have to have self-awareness and emotional intelligence, and have that setting that you could kind of look at your business from a bird's eye view. So you don't want to get too emotional. You don't want to get reactive. You want to, if anything, be transparent, be proactive, and really help, self-develop the people around you, because essentially that's who's running the show. It's really not about me and what I know and things like that. It's as your systems and as you're scaling and as you're growing, it's just so important to keep even culture. Culture is so everything, like positive culture reaps positive results. There's no way you have a positive culture and you're going to have negative results. I promise you. So kind of keeping that focus on positivity, teamwork, environment, good culture, and then the results will follow.
I absolutely love it. So what is one tip? So someone is starting their business and they think they're ready to scale. What was the moment for you? We talked about simplicity of systems, of course, and how you keep it simple, and some other things about how you grow. What's one tip that if they did nothing else, they'll be ready to scale?
Yeah, finding the right person is key. So like knowing what you're looking for, what qualities, what culture, like everyone has their own culture. So like knowing what values you want to withhold within the company. I think having a strong mission statement is something that is very keen to find within, creating a company for yourself, because success isn't an overnight thing. It's hard work. It's consistency. It's putting that work in. And sometimes in moments that you feel like, why? why am I doing this? So finding your why, finding your mission statement, having that vision and that grit, and then having the people in your company bought in, because it's all about believing in your mission, believing in the company. So as a leader, you have to be strong. You have to have that vision and be visionary, and the people behind you have to be bought in and follow.
Absolutely. And I love that. So you're being very humble. You're building up people, and I absolutely love that. But I can't help but to think about how intentional you've been building up Janine and yourself. And you're wearing pink, of course. And as you know, we've got pink lights.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the brand that is you and the brand that is pink.
Yeah, for sure. So, obviously being in a male-dominated space, I came from a company that I was one of 25 salespeople and the only female. I didn't really have that woman to turn to, the woman that was like, obviously there's women in this business and industry that are running their show, running their lending firm, but like I didn't have the awareness of them. Like I didn't have anyone to turn to and like look up to. So for me, I'm like, why don't I create that for others? And like, I truly believe that as, a consciousness and humans, like we all have this ability to tap into our audience. And that leads me to, being my authentic self, being pink, being feminine. I get told a lot of times like, oh, maybe you should like cover up more. Like, no, like this is who I am. And like, if you're telling me that I have to be one way, like, if there's people that don't want to work with me because I'm not like, full suit, business suit and like covered from head to toe, then don't work with me. Like, so for me, it's like woman empowerment. Like, it's okay if you're curvy. It's okay if you're very feminine. It's okay if you're wearing all pink and walking into this conference full of men that are in suits. Like, you have to set that boundary that you do mean business. And I mean business whether I'm wearing a mini skirt or not.
Oh no, I've seen you in action. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we were just having cocktails last night and someone wanted to talk to you about a loan. You're like, let's talk. That's what I'm here for. Let's talk.
Yes. Yeah.
I love that about you. And how does the brand translate into growth for your company?
Yeah, I think, it just translates over because I have a lot of women that work for me and, they've given me their honest feedback that I've just created this space for them. And that was one of my missions starting the company, is that I wanted to create a space that women could, work in finance and be themselves and be their authentic self. Like my COO, Sydney, like has tattoos all over. And like, some people would say, oh, that's so unconventional. Like she should be covered, like things like that. Like, no, like for us, it's like authenticity is us. And like giving people that space to be themselves is so important. So like me being myself is only a reflection of my team being able to be themselves and be authentic. And it just creates this culture that is just so genuine. And then like we're going to attract the people that want to do business with us.
And I can't tell you how key that is. I want to make sure our audience heard that, right? Which is you need to focus and you need to stand out, of course, but also there are people that are going to be attracted to you because of who you are. And there's going to be people who are not.
Yes.
And you have to be okay with that, especially when you start scaling. You can't be everything to everyone. And in fact, intentionally, you should never be, right? So finding who you are, being, as you said, your authentic self, but then also, this is what I stand for. This is not what I stand for. And you're scaling anyway. And I think most people are just afraid of, well, if I stand for something, I won't get the business over here. And it's amazing.
And sometimes people hang on to the people that they think they should be doing business with and have like, for me, it's like you have to have qualities that you want within yourself, within your company, but you have to have those qualities also in the people that you're doing business with. And it's almost like quality over quantity. And I've been a loan officer. I've been on the sales end. I've been, grinding for that business. And when you have this mindset shift where you're not like eagerly trying to get business from all these different people and you just focus on the business that you want and the quality and the people that you want to do business with. Like I want to do business with people that are high integrity, that aren't, committing fraud, or like that holds true to my relationships, the people I'm selling my notes to. Like it holds throughout who I am as a person. Like, so I think where people try to or at least get stuck a little, is trying to get business from everyone instead of being focused on the quality and the people that you want to do business with, and and holding that true to yourself and the values of your company.
Absolutely. I love how you touched on it also, which is you stand for the values and certain values, and I'm big on integrity. I know you are as well. And it's what are you going to accept as a company and what are you not? And I know early on, when I'm scaling and building in my company, I feel pressure. It's like, of course I want that next deal. Of course, that's going to be a huge revenue piece. And saying no to it because it does not fit your values is so hard.
It's powerful.
What advice do you have for people, when they're considering, gosh, well, let me ignore my values? Have you ever had a story where you ignored your values and it's come to reinforce your values?
I think everything, like just being a spiritual person that I am, like everything truly does come back. So if it doesn't show up like within your company directly, it might be through a relationship. It might be in other aspects of your life. But just to know that like it is a powerful, like sometimes the no is more powerful than the yes. Like when you say no to a deal that doesn't fit your box, it's going to let that person know what your box is. And then they're going to be able to push you the deals that you want. So it all comes back. It's like you have to have the power to say no, knowing that more is going to come from it, knowing that there's better stuff on the other end and that you're setting your boundaries. It's a boundary setting.
Oh, absolutely. I love it. When you talk about a box also, I would almost add to you no, and I would say no, but. And the but isn't you're going to do the deal, but you'd be no, but I know so-and-so that can do the deal. And your deal fits their box, not ours. Let me refer you to them.
Yeah.
And that's so powerful.
Love that.
Yeah, it's so powerful.
That because that is from a concept of this book called The Go-Giver that I've actually have my whole team reading currently. But the Go-Giver is how do I provide value, even if it's not directly correlated to me winning in that moment, and having the mindset that it comes back. So it's like being a company, and which I really push for in my company, is creating that value. So like we have a big community that we foster of webinars, lunch and learns. I'm constantly hosting clients for dinners and things like that, of just wanting them to be educated. Like the more educated our clients are, the better, loans we're going to be doing, and the better the projects are going to be doing, and the more successful they are, the more successful we are. It's a direct correlation. So why wouldn't I want them to be more educated? Why wouldn't I want them to, find what they're looking for and help them? Because guess what? Even if you help them and connect them to someone that they work with, they're going to constantly subconsciously think about you because you've connected them.
Absolutely. I can tell you, when building my conference lines, it's always about how do I get the community together, get them in the same room, get them networking, get them talking, get them doing deals together.
And then they're thinking Anthony Gerasi.
Yes. And it's, I always say, I have this saying, I'm selflessly selfish. And what I mean by that is, even if you're not a client or a customer, I'm going to bring you into the same room. You never have to do business with me, and that's okay. But you might do business with somebody who does business with me.
Yes.
And you're helping them grow, which by nature, I grow. So I'm selfishly
selfish.
It
all comes back. It all comes back to Anthony Gerasi.
I try, but it's a lot of fun, right? And building, what you're talking about, building those communities is just so key. And I love everything you're doing there. I love that you're a reader. I love that you're a learning environment.
Yes.
What are 3 books or maybe 3 podcasts or 3 videos, whatever is impacting you? What would you recommend people read on scaling?
For me, I'm a big mind person, and like your thoughts create your reality. So The Magic of Thinking Big was one of game changer for me. I reread it often, like The Magic of Believing, and then Think and Grow Rich for sure.
I love that book. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So impactful, and such, as you said, it's such a mind shift, right? And I actually, what is it? I think it was Think and Grow Rich. If the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve.
Yes.
Yeah, that is amazing. So what's next for Simplending as you're growing the next month, 6 months, year, 3 years, 5 years? Where are you going?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, we're scaling and hiring. I mean, I just onboarded 4 people this past week. We just plan to keep doing what we're doing, really tap into the Houston market. But as you know, we do nationwide. So growing that out, scaling that. I'm doing a lot of speaking spots now at conferences. So traveling the country, doing that. I'm also writing a book. So I'm aspiring book author. So I plan to have that out shortly. It's called She Thinks, She Believes, She Acts, and She Receives. So not only within the private lending space, I truly just want to make a massive impact and a positive impact to others. And I want people to know that they can achieve their dreams if they just think big and they have a positive mindset. They could achieve all of their desires, and that people like you are truly worthy of living a big life. Like, you're so worthy of that. So, it all just comes down to positive thoughts.
I absolutely love that. It's funny because I think a lot of people just get stuck in our own head.
Yeah.
And I can't do this because blank, and fill in excuses, right?
Yes.
And the fact that I love that she thinks, of course, that's important. But I think probably the most important part of your book is she acts.
Yes.
Right? Because acting,
Yes.
moving, even if it's a small step, you're moving forward.
Yes, your actions have to be there. Like, if I could think, I could believe in my company, but if I weren't hiring, that step, a lot of people, I believe, get stuck there of like, oh, I think all these things. I think of all these visions. I think of all of these good ideas. And I believe in myself. But are you acting? Are you gonna, are you opening that LLC? Are you hiring that person? Are you making that decision and putting your actions in place? And then, there's a whole art in just receiving in general, because then people get to the point of like, oh, am I worthy of all this success? Am I worthy to be on Anthony Geraci's podcast? Damn right I am.
Absolutely.
No,
I'm thankful you're here, right? And I love what you said also, because I've personally had a hard time with that as well, which is I love to give, but receive is such a challenge for me. I'm getting better every year, but still it's that, no, I'd rather just give. I don't want to receive. And it's that worthiness. I love you put that in perspective, because that's something I've worked on personally, worthy of receiving gifts, and not even gifts of time, gifts of you being here. So it's amazing. And I love your story. I love how inspiring you are. I think you're going to inspire a lot of women, not just in private lending, but in the world. Where can we get your book? I know it's not out yet, or how can people find out more?
Yes. So you could be in touch with me. I'm very active on social media, LinkedIn. You could just find me at Janine Cascio. My company is Simplending Financial, which is www.simplelendingfinancial.com. We're active across all of the social media platforms. And when my book is out, you could find it on Amazon as well.
Well, we'll definitely drop all of that in our links as we post this. If you have to sum up in one sentence and you have to give someone who's thinking of scaling just one more piece of advice, what would it be?
Enjoy the process. Don't get so stuck on where you're going. Just enjoy the process, because every day is a gift. Every moment's a gift. Being on this podcast is a gift, and enjoy it because it's fun.
Janine, it has been a delight having you here. I know you're going to inspire a lot of women, not just in private lending, but in women everywhere. And I'm grateful to have you. And thanks for being part of this, guys. Welcome to another episode of 4200%. We'll see you on the next one.